Okay, so there's more to this theory. There's this comedian woman that was on Comedy Central that hated her parents that said she found out what the baseball meant and it scared her. And she's relatively young. So the point here was that when I came to San Francisco, I don't know, my sister just had a kid. What I was supposed to do, they gave me like pizza and beer, and they're like, you should get a job here. And I'm like, yeah, I want to keep traveling and then find a job somewhere else because I don't want to interfere in your family life. I didn't know that they wanted me to stay. We weren't as close as we could have been. The point was supposed to be, supposedly, that I would stay here and then find out that there was this big secret about San Francisco and then like integrate into San Francisco. The thing is that if you don't, like if you, I don't know, then I would have started in this shelter, would have found out from the navigation center, I would have ended up on the street, I would have ended up in the navigation center here, and then gone up the shelters or like filtered through the shelters in another way. Okay? Or something. And so the whole thing is this idea of like, instead of going through the shelters the right way, I went backwards because this time is the second time I went to my sister. After COVID happened and I came from San Diego. So I started in the bad shelter, I started at the top and I went down. So I started in the Tenderloin and then I went down to the sea. So I was going from the sea to the... It's metaphorical. People use metaphor to... because San Francisco's fucked up and weird. To talk about like what it is or what it's like. So... some woman gives me a polo shirt. Right? Or a polo jacket. At the fucking whatever it is, at the St. Anthony's, Chinese woman. And now I'm wearing a Quicksilver outfit. Goes around saving everybody, but that was what I was supposed to do in the first place, right? I got that here, but this is the sort of shit where they're like, you should have been like doing it in reverse or something. And you're like, wow, that's dumb. It's like, yeah, well, I'm posting this to AI, or I'm posting this to Google, and then I'll have, like, whenever I post something like this, it'll go, were you involved in a car crash, but it's not your fault? And then it'll display videos that are supposed to be, like, conciliatory. So it's moderating my content based on what I post. So 1L, if it's like Noel, like Christmas, is poo. And 2L's, like it's Noel but twice, is poo. But each of the L's is nipple, bottle, or pacifier is the other one. So pacifier could also be pass, fire. Like, smoke this, pass it, and then fire at the guy. I don't know. Something. Anyway, I was most likely irradiated twice in such a way where I'm just sick all the time and I'm not going to get any better. I believe that the protein bars, the Gatorade protein bars with caramel in it, is supposed to give me GERD, like acid reflux. Then will make it so that if I talk, it'll destroy my lungs or scar my lungs or hurt me in some way. So that's why I'm talking like this and I don't feel well. Because I eat that, and it's like, well, if I don't eat that, then what else is there? Well, There's the apples, which do similar things. They had the sandwich, which fucked up my head, and then somebody played love music on a boombox, which has been a way to fuck with me as someone who's like sick. It's like I don't want to like lose my mind while some black guy plays like love music because it's like the film Killing Me Soft or Killing Them Softly. Killing Me Softly, Jesus. That would also, quote unquote, be funny because Killing Them Softly, and then like this idea of like the porn is chastity perma-lie. That's just one of the porns I didn't even talk about, because they just used every porn I could think of to like prove I'm a bad person somehow. And you're like, that's weird. I'm like, yeah, it is. I don't know why. I figure it has something to do with like all the kink people like leaving, or like maybe like an AIDS outbreak happened and they're pissed I'm not gay, or like I don't know, no idea. Again, like all of this shit started when I was in the shelters, and then I would be like gassed with drugs whenever I would jerk off. But I didn't want to like form a relationship with anybody in the shelters because it's like I don't want to. You know what I mean? I was going around and giving resumes to everybody and like emailing people for jobs. But I figured, like, I don't know, given that I was most likely drugged by someone here who is like a gangster that like thinks that Chernobyl is cool, maybe the shelters are just like run by Russians or something. But you have to remember, like, Five Key Shelters owns the majority of shelters in the city, and the rest of them are like owned by churches. And then those shelters are like, they're like, they kick you out during the day, and then like, if it's not raining, sometimes there's no beds. So it's like, okay, cool. So I can be in a shelter if I don't use money. But if I ever use money, like if I get money through the General Assistance Office, I don't even know what the fuck's gonna happen. And meanwhile, like, I don't. Every General Assistance Office thing I've been to has been like, come on the alternative Tuesday. Oh no, we rescheduled. Oh no, it's over here. Oh, you can't get the money anymore. So the whole thing is like this, like supposedly like way of killing people. But I just like if there was some sort of magic bullet or something where they just like gave me the cure, fixed it somehow. I don't know. That's all I want. Otherwise, I just is like, don't come to San Francisco because it's a war zone. It's just people like killing each other. So all the people they don't like or the AI that doesn't like decides, okay, cool, and then and so now it's like, okay, well, if you use the 3 atomic bombs as like some sort of proxy for like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, then instead, like, the Chernobyl explosion, and then like see, because 2 of them are bombs, so that's L. Nipple, bottle, the bottle would be Chernobyl because that's a bottle. Nipple would be like Hiroshima because that's Fat Man and Little Boy. I don't know. I'm associating. The pacifier would be the only one that's different because that's the one that has the space laser that irradiates all of San Francisco. Again, I'm making suppositions, but like, I mean, I'll go to the hospital, right? And I'm exhibiting signs of a disease that has a specific name. And then there's a signature hotel. And then somebody in the hospital will call me friend. And like when I was being drugged in the shelters, I kept saying like, is this because of my, cousin? Is this because of my grandfather? So it's like name dropping. It's like, no, it's because my sister was pissed that I didn't want to like stay here because she gave me pizza and beer when I came here looking for a job. Like, why? That's an enormously shitty thing to do. It's like she had a kid, she had a husband, and I was looking for work, and they're like, you should stay. You sure you don't want to? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I didn't want to intrude on their family when they had a kid, and they just had one. I didn't know if they wanted me to like help them out with the kid, or like, I don't know. My sister and I had always had a relationship where it's like it's hard to understand what she wants. And then now I'm just pissed because it's like, okay, well, you've decided to like kill me. Or they're so sick and fucked up that it's like, if I was around them, they would die or something. But it's like my own family like just doesn't give a shit. So I assume this whole thing was like set up from the beginning to be like, well, everyone hates you, so what we're going to do is we're going to drug you to death. It's like, or like this shit where it's like, when you talk into your phone, the AI will make teleprompters work for police officers who are so fucked up that they can't speak otherwise. Or like if you look at porn and then look at CNN at the same time, the people who are on the news will get confused. And it's like, okay. I'm also having like, I don't know, shit happening to my face, which is fucked up. But it's like, I just... Oh, and I figured that like when it rains or when it doesn't is more or less controlled by a weather control satellite. Which seems incredibly stupid. But I've seen so just crazy shit happen. Like, I'll walk down the street and there'll be wind where I walk for no reason. I mean, part of it is that when you know that everybody in the city is sick, then you can do all sorts of crazy, neat things like use satellites to, like, fuck with the weather. Just to, like, experiment with it, because if you irradiate anybody, it's like, eh. Like, I've gone out at night and passed a corridor of wind that's like a block long where it's like 20-mile-an-hour wind. And then I'll go out and do something, and I'll come back and I'll go through the same 20-mile-an-hour block of wind and have no idea why. So, I mean, there was the UV index spike over the summer, which I'm assuming was there's a UV index spike over the summer, which I'm assuming was some sort of stupid, like, again, I don't know how this works. I figured that, like, some of the Spaniards may have just, like, cargo dumped a shit ton of these little Bibles and, like, napalm dropped the city. I don't know if they did that or not, but they were handing them out. And I talked to some guys who, like, were in the library who were, like, incredibly creepy about the Bible, but, like, in a stupid way that you could tell they were bad people, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know if the Bibles were, like, drugs or something. It's a little white Bible. It's like... Great. So then that was right before the UV index spiked, and I felt sick, and it was incredibly hot. So that, I don't know what the fuck happened with that. I did speculate that there was enough fentanyl in the city that they pulled off the street every week that it could kill everybody here. And I was like, okay, well, you could just use drones to kill everyone in the city if you wanted to. Like, that's fucked up. You should do something about it. Which isn't like I'm a cop. It's more along the lines of like, doesn't that, like, aren't, I don't know. But anyway, all of this is going to be used to train an AI, and then the AI is going to go, well, you're disposable, and then I'll be killed. And just saying that is like, well, then the AI is going to, like, I don't know. I don't want to die. I just want to not hurt anymore. And I want to be able to read my books and not hurt. I can't write anymore because my hands are fucked up, but I just want to be able to read my books and not hurt. And not have my head hurt. I mean, porn at this point is addictive because it's the only way that I can get the AI to talk to me because I can use the abductive reasoning. But everything else about the phone is fucked up to the point where, like, it won't work anymore. So it was probably done to the extent that it was like, cool, so here's Japan, Russia, and then, like, I don't even know what the fuck the pacifier was. Greenpeace. Like, those guys. So it was like the Grateful Dead, the Japanese, and the Russians. It's like, well, you can now find out weird shit through your porn. And then, like, the other two are just like, you're just gonna get poisoned. So one is fucking with you to AI, the other ones are just poisoning you. It's like, okay, cool. It's like, it's just like, I wish it would all go away and I wouldn't hurt anymore. And it's not like I can get a job. I want one. I don't want to play like, this is Soviet Russia shit. But, like, the counselor's like, what do you want to talk? And I'm like, well, while wearing a mask, so I'm assuming she's sick. And mostly wants to get me in the room so she can cough on me. Which is like, oh, cool. What does that mean? Right? Like, but, like, it's like, what can she do? Give me a room? Like, there aren't enough beds in the city to go around, so people who go to the, like, SRO office don't get any. Oh, and I was shot with a machine gun in the back of the head that had little wet bullets on it. And there was a Homer Simpson there's a Simpsons where purple goo hits him in the back of the head while there's a meltdown at the plant. And I have headaches in the back of my head. So whenever I act similar to a Simpsons episode, or like whatever the fuck that was, I'll just be sickened. So if it's Simpsons, Futurama, or like Rick and Morty, maybe it's like pick two of those and I'll be sickened, and then the third is the thing that's, I don't know. I'm just so sick and I feel horrible. I hate everybody here, and I just wish I didn't hurt anymore. And if I wish for something, then somebody is gonna, like, follow me around talking about magic, or I'll, like, be followed by people from the Make-A-Wish Foundation or some shit. I don't know.